everyone, I recently had a request to show you guys how I take notes, and since the way I take notes is, I think I'm the only person in my class that takes notes the way I take notes, I thought I would also share with you a couple of ways I've seen other people take notes, as far as getting all our lecture notes in a single place. Now, of course, if you have your own way that's better, go ahead and use that. These are just different ways that I do it and then how I've seen other people do it in my classes. So, for me personally, I take handwritten notes. I know a lot of people, I would say the majority of my class takes notes on the computer. However, I personally need to write everything out, and so I use notebooks. The reason that I do my system the way I do, which is probably seems way more complicated than I need to, is that I don't want to lug a bunch of different notebooks around. I don't want a notebook for each subject, because then I'm carrying around all this weight in my backpack, which is really heavy, and I don't want to not take a notebook on accident or forget it, or it just seems like a huge hassle to have a separate notebook for each subject. So I have one notebook that I use for all my subjects, and it's just one of those little ones. It's not like a 5-subject binder or anything. I just use a normal, like, 1-subject notebook. So what I do to differentiate between my between the classes that I'm in while I'm taking notes is at the top of my page, I'll write which class I'm in. So I don't know if you can see this, but here at the top of the page I wrote that this was my assessments class, and then on another page, same notebook, I have for my environments class here, and I just make a short little title for whatever class it is, and I use that throughout the semester. And I'll flip open my notebook to the next page. At the top of the page, I'll write whatever class it is, and then I just take my notes like you would normally take notes. I don't do anything fancy. And then next class, same notebook, write whatever the title of the class is, and take my notes. I don't find that it's that hard to find my my notes again, because I do have them labeled according to whatever class I'm in. However, this might be more complicated than some people are willing, and so if you want to use different subject notebooks, that's fine, or you could do kind of whatever you do. This is just what works for me, because I don't want to lug around a ton of stuff, and in reality, the majority of my notes I never even look back at anyways. I want to look up notes, I just go back and I flip to whatever class I'm in, so say it's assessments, and I just flip through my assessments. I don't find it's that hard to find what I'm looking for, and this is what totally works for me. So, of course, probably most people, you're like, this will never work for me, I don't do this. I have seen a lot of different ways that people take notes, and I'm the only person who takes notes this way in my class. So other ways that I've seen people take notes are, a lot of people just, we have PowerPoints that are uploaded onto our Blackboard from our professors. People will open up the PowerPoint, and the majority of people that I see will just go ahead and they'll write their notes either in the notes section, or they'll make a text box, or put little arrows, depending on the class. Because for some classes like anatomy, if there's a picture on the PowerPoint, they might want to add in like an arrow into the PowerPoint and put a little text box explaining what it is, or they might write in the notes section of the PowerPoint. So that's what I've seen a lot of people do. There are also people that I've seen that will open up like a notepad type of app on their computer, and they'll write their notes into that, and those are not related to the PowerPoint. They'll have the PowerPoint completely separate, and then they'll write their notes in an app. So it's essentially kind of what I'm doing, where you have your notes in one place and the PowerPoint in a different place, but this is on the computer electronically. So the person I'm thinking of that does that has a separate notepad for each class and different folders, and they have this whole organization system where they make a folder for their class, and then they'll take notes, and they might label the notes based off the topic or the date, and they'll put them in that folder, so if they ever want to go back, they can find that. So that's another system I've seen. And then there are people who do sort of a combination of any of these three and might have paper notes in addition to notes on their PowerPoint, in addition to notes in other places. That's really confusing for me. I need them to all be in one spot, but that works for some people. And then there are the people that can get away without taking any notes, and then they just listen and absorb the information, and that's what works for them too. So those are different ways to take notes, and ways that I've seen people in occupational therapy school take notes. If any of these work for you, that's great. If you have another way that you take notes, or that you find is helpful for you to retain information from classes, go ahead, leave it in the comments below. I hope you're having a great day. Bye.